Hello friends, I'm just here on Marple Bay Park overlooking Lake Cowichan, Vancouver Island. We just had a successful retreat at KDUL in Mount Tuam Salt Spring, and I thought I'd take a few days exploring the island, some new places to decompress a little bit and recover. It's actually quite difficult looking after people because we're all quite traumatized these days. Hello the way, how you doing? Just wanted to share this beautiful location with everyone, overlooking Lake Cowichan, Vancouver Island. We've had a few days of just torrential rainfall. We're trying to walk around, explore the old forests on the west coast near Port Renfrew, but it was so wet. It was cool and bright this morning. I think it was 0 degrees earlier. Now the sun's shining. Everything seems beautiful. I've been talking a lot recently about how we see ourselves to be so important, and how in cosmic terms we're actually quite insignificant. I mean, on the cosmic scale, really, we're not even as much as a grain of dust in the universe. But even here on the planet, we're not that important. Entire human civilization will come and go and be forgotten at some point. But we see ourselves to be so important. We're willing to sacrifice everything for our short-term goals. Excuse me. Beautiful lichen hanging off the trees. There's this kind of mentality that we have to sacrifice things for our own well-being. But really, we could get by with very little. As long as we've got clean air, clean water, and we're okay. But what we're doing is polluting our planet, consuming our resources, thinking, well, if we don't drill more oil, we're going to lose money. Our ancestors, they lived with almost nothing compared to how we live these days. I mean, we feel like we can't get by without refrigeration, without electricity. We did it for thousands of years. And in the past, when we had none of these modern conveniences, we were pretty sophisticated spiritually, intellectually. Hey, Paul, how's it going in Scotland? Scotland's another one of those places I just absolutely love. The nature, the beauty, the rugged coastlines, relatively small population. There's a few big cities. I lived in Glasgow for many years. Quite a tough place. You have to be hard to survive in Glasgow. But you can just hop on a bus, hitchhike, and in no time you're out in the glens and the moors. It's astounding. The problem is we don't appreciate what we have. And many people these days, they feel kind of trapped. Trapped in as much as they feel like they can't get outside, can't escape the city, can't escape their financial uncertainty, their social turmoil. But this is just a self-created illusion. We imprison ourselves in our own narrative. You just need to go out and breathe fresh air. Breathe the fresh air. See the sunshine. For some people it's difficult. I've got a friend in Latvia, and he's terminally ill. He hasn't got much choice. the most of his social contact happens over the internet. But for most of us, we're not trapped by that. What we're trapped by is our narrative. As I was saying, we think we're so important. It's like everything has to work for our benefit. I mean, just look at the world. If you zoom out, you barely notice we were here. We've got to stop consuming at such this incredible rate. We have to stop feeling desperate. We have to remember love and compassion. The benefit of others. To do everything we can to preserve what we have. I mean, our lives are short. I'm pretty old now. I'm not going to be around for that long. But I don't want to leave a mess behind when I go. There's others who will come after me. They need air. They need water. They need physical and mental well-being. That's one of the things that's worse these days. Is people's mental state of health is so poor. Again, it's all about narratives. You can create a new narrative for yourself. One that's in harmony with nature. One that lives lightly on the earth and doesn't bring harm to the environment. A new narrative where we're not pitted against each other. I mean, I made a short video a couple of days ago while I was walking around the rainforest on the Pacific coast. And I was just saying how bewildered I was, but how we could cut down some of this old growth tree. These trees that have been around since before Canada existed. I mean, the oldest of these trees, around 2,000 years old. I mean, that's the time around when Jesus Christ was being crucified. That's before Europe was even a thing. We were running around like cavemen nearly in those days in Europe. And some of the trees are, the younger ones, are 500 years old. Hello, North California. Beautiful place. They come from the era when Westerners were first starting to discover the Americas. Europeans, anyway. We know that the Vikings got there first. And since the 1600s, the 90% of the old growth forests have been eliminated in North America. For what? Profit, moolah, riches. We call progress. The indigenous people, they think we're crazy. Quite rightly. I saw a tree yesterday, Harris Creek spruce. At its wide point, it's 7 meters at the base. Huge tree. Must be about 800 years old. What was going on 800 years ago? They were signing the Magna Carta. Magna Carta is probably the most important legal document ever written in human history. And what does it teach us? That no one is above the law, even the king. And now, 800 years later, we're trying to reverse all that. We want politicians who are immune from prosecution. We want to get rid of the notion that all people are equal under the law. We're going backwards in time on these trees. They keep growing. David, hello. Salt Spring Island, beautiful place. I'm sorry you couldn't join us. We're going to do another retreat on my hermitage in spring next year, and you're very welcome to come. And there will also be accessibility there for those people who have access issues. it'll be a little bit more low-key, easygoing, very suited for you, and I hope your health improves. Really, we have to do whatever we can for the outer environment to preserve what we have. Because without this, we're nothing. Look how many people are so traumatized in the cities, in modern civilization. If we lose this, we lose everything. The outer environment needs to be protected. The inner environment, one's own mental health, well-being, so important. For your inner environment to be okay, then you have to have the right conditions, the right outlook. And as Buddhists, then ultimately what we do is we work on our minds. And then there's what we call the secret environment. That's abiding in the way things are. It's not some really high view. It's something that you experience when you come out in nature. You sit under a tree, meditate in the forests and the fields, encounter animals. Animals who have no complex agendas. If we can make our outer, inner, and secret environments healthy and well, then there's a bright future for us. But if we continue down this path of consumption, of self-clinging, the notion that things have to be sacrificed for my well-being, then we're doomed. Ego clinging, self-centeredness, taking oneself to be the most important thing in the universe is the root of all our troubles. Friend or foe, left or right, whoever we are, we have to work together because there's nothing else we have. There's no other planet. I mean, Elon Musk thinks there is, that we could go to Mars. Even to begin terraforming Mars is going to take 300 years. What are we going to do in the meantime if we destroy what we have? But that's the way we think. Just burn it up, consume it, and throw away the garbage. Move on to the next thing. Well, this planet is limited, but our greed and our desire has no bounds. And so you have to take control of your inner environment. Be easily satisfied and have few desires. And the way you relate to the world will change. You will develop gratitude and appreciation. And that's how we can change the world for the better. Not by fighting with each other. Not through hatred, but through love and compassion. Well, I better get going. Got a bit of a hike today. I need to get back in touch with the center. So until next time, and see you later.